Hello again, YouTube. I've been wanting to do this guy since I got him because he's a bit sexy, and it's not something you can say about Transformers very often. That is Universe Classics Dragstrip. And yes, he is a repaint of the Mirage mould, and I know repaints are a bit contentious. They are essentially just Hasbro being a wee bit lazy, putting out several repaints of the same mould and calling it different characters. Yeah. But you know, I don't mind repaints. I don't mind repaints so long as the mould they use is pertinent to the character. If it accurately reflects the character, I couldn't give a toss, especially when it's this good. Now this repaint, in my humble opinion, is better than the original Mirage one. And the mould is perfect for Dragstrip. For those who don't know, Dragstrip was originally in Generation 1 part of the Stunticon team, and like all of the Stunticons, he's an arsehole. He is neurotic, borderline insane, and a complete arsehole. His particular personality deficits manifest in that he cannot bear to lose in anything, in any aspect of his existence. He can't bear to come second. He cannot bear to think that he is in somehow deficient, even though it's evident to all of his fellow Decepticons that he is in a number of ways. Even Megatron hates this guy. In his bio, it makes a point of stating that he is one of the few Decepticons, along with Starscream, whom Megatron absolutely cannot stand. He even pushes Megatron's patience to breaking point. The only reason Megatron keeps him around is because he's even more effectively annoying against the Autobots. That's it. He uses Dragstrip as a form of psychological warfare. You can imagine him sort of going, you know what, Dragstrip, you go ahead. You know, if they shoot him, that will be fantastic. If they rip him to bits, fine, but he might annoy them to a certain degree. But yes, this Formula 1 car mode is amazing. It's beautifully detailed. And you know, if you didn't know any better, you would not be able to tell that this was a Transformer. Even from underneath, I mean, look how clean and compact that is. You can't see any evidence of the robot mode, and that is amazing, quite frankly. This is a perfect example of just how good the Classics line can be, and how good modern Transformers can be. There's some shit in this line, there really is. When they fail epically. If you look at Universe Classics Ironhide and the Ratchet repaint, for example, they are hideous. This is the exact antithesis of that. It's an example of how it succeeds and how wonderfully it can succeed. It's a beautiful mould. It looks wonderful. It displays beautifully, and it's good plastic as well. It's good, solid plastic with that particular texture that says to you this is not going to break easily. The only issue I have with it, and it occurs in both modes, is that this area here is not the same as the rest of it. It's not the same kind of plastic, and as such the yellow is actually painted on, and it flakes away very easily during the transformation because of parts that scrape against it, which is mildly annoying, but only mildly. And when the overall effect is this good, I really don't care. He is a stunning piece of work, and for some reason he reminds me very much of Generation 1. He has the feeling of one of those original Generation 1 car Autobots, like Prowl or like the original Mirage. It's a very, very beautiful piece of work. Right then, on to the transformation. And there is Dragstrip in his robot mode, and if the car mode was sexy, then it's doubly so in robot mode, and that is something you really can't say for the vast majority of Transformers from any line. It's one of those transformations that is not actually that complex. It's a little difficult to figure out at first, but once you've got it, it's quite simple. But utterly ingenious. Every single part of him just folds away so neatly, and the way these legs fold out from the body of the car is beautiful. They're multiple jointed. This guy's posability is better than any other Transformers I've ever come across. He can pose in so many different ways because he is composed almost entirely of joints. His arms are multiple jointed, his legs are double jointed in places with ball joints at the hips, his feet are ball jointed, his head is on a ball joint. He is utterly poseable. You can get him into some absolutely stunning looking poses. And what I also like about it is that despite the fact they've used the Mirage mould, there are certain design features that carry over beautifully from the Generation 1 Dragstrip as well. I mean, the face in particular is very, very reminiscent of Generation 1 Dragstrip, especially in terms of its colour. He also has this sort of tall lankiness, this length of limb going on, which I love. I find that very attractive indeed. His legs, I love the legs in his robot mode. The joint system is ingenious, but not only that, they look so good. And he also has waist articulation, and it's proper as well. It's proper waist articulation. That's lovely. Complaints? I suppose you could complain about the fact that it doesn't have any gimmicks. But you know what? I don't give a toss. It doesn't have any gimmicks, and it's a nigh perfect Transformer. Just ditch the gimmicks, Hasbro. Get rid of the damn gimmicks. If you can produce Transformers like this by getting rid of the gimmicks, then please get rid of them. No flashing lights, no firing missiles. Get rid of the damn things and just produce toys of this quality, because this is beautiful. And I would encourage anyone who's a fan of Generation 1, in particular in the Generation 1 Autobot cars, to pick this guy up. Whatever paint scheme you can get, the Mirage one or this one, depending on whether you're an Autobot or a Decepticon sympathiser, I suppose. It is essential buying this one. It's an amazing toy, and I'm so happy I ordered it. Some people have had a wee issue with the weapon. Essentially the front comes off of the car and it just becomes this little weapon here, but you know, I don't really care about that at all. You know, it makes a fairly effective looking little crossbolt pistol looking thing, and you know, it's a fairly convincing weapon. Unlike many of, say, the Beast Wars toys, their weapons are ridiculous for the most part. No, I really cannot fault this guy. He is a wonderful, wonderful piece of work, and a beautiful homage to Generation 1 as well. Every Transformers fan you must check this out. It is beautiful.